Hi everyone, and welcome to Brunch Business. Today we sat down and we started talking because I've been doing all our things for our programs, and we decided to talk about, because I got onto language and how important language is. And so we started talking about that. So I started typing away furiously here. And I said to Gary...
Inside, not actually.
Yes. And I said to Gary, it's amazing how a smile during a conversation can quickly turn someone into your best friend, hey?
Yeah, well, it changes the whole physiology of each person because of the reaction that comes from it.
Yeah,
it works
exactly.
from there, most definitely.
And look, you and I both know what communication is probably the most important thing in every business. You have to have a face out there. It's very important. Look, there's a lot of these online companies, that's fantastic, but there's nothing so... the experience can be so much better when you've got someone there to talk to face to face. It builds the whole experience into something else, doesn't it?
And sometimes even if the fact of the person is a known person and the relationship can remain in the person's mind, and the face of the person and the voice of the person, which actually backs up the images on the online factors.
And I want to point out, we've mentioned this before, but Alan Pease, he talks about body language and all the factors of a language as a whole, and all the other experts say the same thing. 7% of our communication is actually just the words that we use, and 38% is tone, pitch and speed of your voice. The rest of it, which is 55%, is actually our body language, how we use our body in language and in communication, should I say. That's
right. And you know, it's all the hand movements, it's the way your posture is at the time that you're speaking to anybody, and
if you're not hunched over, or if you are.
Are you picking on me again?
Yeah, no. I know you. That's part of you, darling. We know that. But it's important. I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget anything. So it's how you say the words, including the tone, the pitch, and the speed of it. Why you are saying it. Why the purpose behind the message. And it could also even be when you say it. It could be during a debate, or it could be just a general conversation, or it could be even the time of the day that could actually affect our language.
It does.
And your body, like Gary just said, the posture, how you sit. And look, if there's one thing that I would like to say is, if you're talking to someone and they're giving you an answer and they're doing this all the time, they're not giving you the full truth. They're hiding something, or they're not telling you the truth. One or the other.
Yeah.
Or either that, or they could have a cold. So we have to be aware of that. They could possibly have a cold. Because I know I've been in a conversation. Yeah.
But it's amazing. There's a lot of those things that we do that are very indicative through the way in which we hold our body or use our body when we're talking to people. Looking up means that the person's actually reflecting back and trying to remember something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the looking down the other way or glancing away. There's a lot of tricks to actually understanding that body language.
Yeah, so I've made up some points here so that you can follow and maybe take on board what we're talking about today. First of all, when someone approaches you, smile. How hard is it to smile at someone? It's not hard to smile. And seriously, it can turn people around. If someone's angry or coming up to you with a complaint and you smile at them before they even start, you've won half the battle. Don't you think?
Oh, yes, you've bridged the gap, I say.
And the second one is, as you always say, Gary, don't be distracted with your own personal stuff.
No, that's right. Make sure that you're actually...
You're not on your phone. Or...
Yeah, you're into what's happening with the person, with the conversation. Don't be distracted by movement in the background from behind the person or anything like that, unless you actually point it out to the person and involve them in the distraction that's occurring.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse when you when someone asks you, how can I help you? and you're telling them, and then they turn to their laptop or their computer and start typing away at doing something else.
No.
It shows that they're definitely not interested, doesn't it?
Exactly.
And the other thing that we always talk about is use can-do positive language.
Yep.
For instance, I've written a few examples here. May I suggest, or an option would be, and simply, how can I help you? Using those positive phrases actually tells the individual what can be done, and that there's a suggestion of options.
And that you can do something for them.
Yeah, and there's choices as well.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just so easy to do this if you understand what it can get you in the end. And the other one is, you always say this, make eye contact.
Yes, and you're the eyes are the windows to the mind.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
As soon as you've got eye contact with the person, they know that you're linking in and locking with them. And it makes so much of a difference.
Yeah. And the last one is, say what you mean and mean what you say. In other words, don't say you're going to do something and you're not going to. So be clear on your actions every time you speak, or what the actions or the outcomes you want to achieve for your customer, and don't say something just for the sake of it.
That's right. Far too often people will say that they're going to do something, and it's not to actually create a change for the customer or the person that they're dealing with. They're actually just using it to appease the moment so that the person will go away, and that's not going to get you a result in life.
No, you'll lose customers, you'll lose clients, you'll lose friends even.
Yeah.
I just think it's very important, or we both do. Communication is just such an important area of any business or in your personal life.
And you've got to admit, it's what we all love. We all crave for it. It's one of those core needs that we're all after, that connection factor.
We do.
And the other thing to remember is that people like to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think that's enough for Brunch Business today. So thank you very much for joining us, everyone.
We'll go and talk about ourselves.
To each other.
Thanks very much, guys. Catch up soon.
And keep smiling.